Hello and welcome. My name is, well, you can think of me as your guide, a hotel AI expert with quite a bit of experience in modern hospitality operations. I'm so pleased to welcome all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, to your online learning journey. We're really looking forward to supporting your professional growth in this incredible industry. So today, we're going to break down 4 key pieces of this puzzle. First, we'll get into a whole new way of thinking about hotel ownership. Then we'll see how that shift creates a totally new, critical role for a modern strategist. After that, we'll look at the data that actually fuels their decisions, and finally, we'll lay out the key strategies you absolutely need to know to thrive in this new landscape.
All right, let's jump right into our first section. To really get a handle on the future, we have to understand this massive structural change that's happening right now in how hotels are owned and run. It's something people are calling the asset-light revolution.
So what in the world is the asset-light model? Well, think about it like this. When you check into a huge, beautiful Marriott or a Hilton, you just assume they own that building, right? Well, surprise, in most cases, they don't. Their real business, their expertise, isn't owning property. It's selling their brand, their operational know-how, and their franchise systems.
And this really breaks it down perfectly. You've got 2 different players here. On one side, you have the brand, the operator, like a Hilton, and they are totally focused on running the hotel and making sure you, the guest, have a fantastic stay. But on the other side, you've got the actual owner. This could be a big investment group, maybe a real estate investment trust or a REIT, and believe me, they care about one thing above everything else, the financial performance of that building as an asset. They have totally different focuses, but for this to work, their goals have to line up. And because you have this separation between the brand running the hotel and the investor who owns it, you need someone to bridge that gap. And that's where this vital role comes in, the owner's representative. And as we're about to see, that job is changing a lot. It's going from a passive observer to a very active strategist.
You know, the traditional owner's rep was kind of a passive role. This was the person who'd show up maybe once a month, kind of flip through a report from last month, and, check to see if the lights were still on. It was a completely reactive job, always looking backward at old data.
Yeah, that old model? It's completely obsolete. Today's owner's rep is a proactive, data-driven strategist. They're using technology to watch the hotel's performance not just monthly, but hourly, constantly looking for opportunities to influence what happens next. The entire mindset has shifted from just watching to actively managing in real time. And this new, proactive approach is leading to something the industry is calling hybrid models. Owners are no longer just handing the keys over to the brand and hoping for the best. Nope, they are getting their hands dirty, getting directly involved in the big-ticket decisions, things like revenue strategy and what tech to use, to make absolutely sure that every single choice is squeezing the most value out of their investment. So you might be asking, what makes all this possible? How can an owner's rep suddenly become this real-time strategist? The answer is pretty simple: data. In this next section, we're going to look at the powerful digital tools that have become, frankly, essential for the job. And here's the absolute bottom line. Being fluent in data is not optional anymore. Having a deep, real comfort with big data is a non-negotiable skill for any leader who wants to succeed in this field. It's not just about seeing the numbers. You have to know what they mean and, more importantly, what to do about them.
And here's what that actually looks like day to day. We're talking about using AI to create forecasts that are unbelievably accurate. We're talking about spotting market shifts before your competitors even have a clue. It's about monitoring the financial health of your hotel, not by the quarter, but by the hour. And this isn't just about cool new tech. It's about giving those investors the transparency they demand through powerful, instant, real-time reporting.
Okay, so this brings us to our final and maybe most important section. How do you actually succeed in this brand new environment? Let's break down the key strategies that you'll need in your toolkit.
Any asset manager who's thinking about the future knows that the game isn't just about hotel rooms anymore, not by a long shot. The smartest owners out there are diversifying. They're integrating what we call alternative accommodations to make their properties more profitable and, just as importantly, more resilient.
So what does that mean? Well, for example, it could mean building luxury branded residences on top of a hotel. Or it might mean integrating a block of high-end short-term rental apartments right into the hotel's inventory. See, these aren't just little add-ons. They are entirely new revenue streams that help protect the whole investment from the typical ups and downs of the hotel market.
So when you put it all together, that high-level strategic thinking, a total mastery of data, and a really creative approach to revenue, you get to the very heart of this modern role.
The owner's representative is, above all else, the vital guardian of the investor's capital. That's the job.
So, for all of you, here's your path forward. It breaks down into 3 key steps. First, you have to embrace technology. Get comfortable, become a master of the data and the AI tools that are now essential. Second, learn to think like an investor. That means prioritizing transparency and real-time reporting. And third, diversify your own knowledge. Go beyond just hotels and really understand the economics of these new alternative accommodations.
So, we'll end with a question for you to think about. In this industry where you're no longer just a manager, but a real-time strategist with powerful data at your fingertips, what will be your first move to create value?